Okay, this is not another mending day. What I'm in the process of is adding this brace or stiffener to this shovel because this is like a snowplow shovel, and you see that crack? And I got a crack on the other side too. And this didn't have too much more time left in it. And when you're pushing this up against something like a piece of ice that won't move, and then you overdo it, this is what can happen. Now, it didn't break completely in two. I'm glad for that. I decided to try adding this mending plate because it seemed like it was pretty thick stock. It might work, I don't know. The mending plate cost me $5 plus. Now, it's just a matter of attaching it and seeing if it works. I've already added 2 bolts. This band clamp was already part of this assembly because it's to hold this closed. Previously, I think it was held closed with some sort of Mickey Mouse. And the shovel handle wouldn't just wobble. This is not the original shovel handle, but the clamp here really takes out the wobble. So you can see what I've done here is I've drilled a hole through the holes in the mending plate are already pre-done, so I just kind of lined it up. First I bent the mending plate by putting in a vise and pounding on it with a hammer until I got more or less a general angle that I wanted. Then I looked at the hardware that I had lying around. This would cost more if you had to buy all this hardware. I just happened to have these pieces. I used one regular washer, one lock washer. I had these locking nuts anyway. And I've added 2 of them. This one, of course, I made certain to put it in such a way that you don't want the thing sticking out on this side, naturally. On the back side, it doesn't do any harm. And the mending plate should only go so far up. You don't want it to be rubbing against the driveway. This thing can rub against the driveway on the earlier part of this because when it goes at a low angle. Okay, so I more or less concluded that that's about as far as I could go with this particular plate, and this is about the length of the screw that I can go without having that rub on the driveway. Okay, with any reasonable angle, it won't rub on the driveway. Okay, after it's really tipped up all the way flat down, which of course you can't push it when it's like that. Okay, now my thought was to add 1 more hole. Okay, I could obviously add up to 5. Because that's, or 6 actually, and that would make the whole assembly more rigid. Every time you hit something with this, it's going to set a vibration in this. It's going to cause possibly the holes. This could, in principle, loosen up by a little bit of wobbling, and the more distributed that is, it certainly can't be any worse. So what I'll do is I'll just add 1 extra hole here. And then I'll probably give it a go because we have snow coming up. That'll probably be it for the season. I'll just kind of show you. First, I'm going to counterpunch that because this hole, the pre-drilled holes in the mending plate are not exactly on line like I would have liked them, and that I want to drill that in the center. I don't want it to wobble around, so I'm going to punch it first. Okay, there's the punch. And there's a little hole. Now I'm going to drill the holes, and the idea on this is not to put in the 1/4 inch bit that I need to start off because the 1/4 bit is going to wander or could wander with a hole that small. Start with a very small, I'll start with 1/8 inch, and then I'll just work my way up. 1/8, 9/64, 5/32, 3/16, 7/37, and then I got my 1/4 inch. And that way I get the hole, it stays centered, and it of course distributes the wear across all of the drill bits. And I'm going to use some cutting oil because this is galvanized, and I just don't want my bits to wear down any more than they have to. Okay, there's the 1/8 inch. It's I thought it was actually more off-center than it looks like it came out, so I might have lucked out. It is going into a curved surface, so it has a tendency to slip down. Anyway, it wasn't terrible. I thought it was going to be worse. I repunched it. I tried actually going down to my smallest 1/16 of an inch to see if I could move the hole over a little bit. And then when I finally drilled it through, it actually seemed okay. So just going to work my way up. Okay, that's with the 9/64. Okay, now I'll move up to the next size. That's 5/32. That's 3/16. That's 7/32. Now I'll do the last one, 1/8 of an inch, a 1/4 inch. Okay, that's a 1/4 inch. It didn't wander enough to start drilling into the mending plate, so that's primarily what I was hoping for. So I didn't want the hole to be any larger than it needed to be. Now I'll put the screw through. Okay, I just hand threaded the screw. That's the one that I had. That's I'm going to snug that up and it should conform. It's got a countersink type head. When I tighten it up, it should bend the metal of the shovel face. And I've got a lock washer and a flat washer, and I'll just snug this assembly up. Okay, I snugged that up. The screw conforms pretty closely to the face of the shovel, and this does not protrude very much, and it should be fine. I don't think that'll ever get in the way. Well, actually it does if it were lying completely flat. But once you have it in your hand at any height off the ground at all, then it's pitched back. This looks pretty rigid. I'm going to give this, I could I might add another one here since I have it. But that'll be the end of the video here. I'm going to give this a try on the next snow and see how it goes. Okay, thanks.